Hello and welcome to Tesori Home. Today we are bringing you our next episode in our Design Within Reach series, where we tour everyday people's homes to show you that you can create a home you love within your means. Today we are touring Margo Roth's beautiful home in North Carolina. You will love Margo's home. It is Little Women vibes, English countryside. She's got a beautiful garden in the back. I'm so excited to share Margo and her home with you. Let's go in and see what Margo is up to.
Hey, welcome in.
Hi, thank you. So excited to be in your home in person. It is so cozy and welcoming.
Thank you.
So thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. I'm so excited to show you around.
I would love to know, first off, where your inspiration comes from for home and how you fell in love with design.
I feel like it's like pretty obvious when you walk in. Like, I am a maximalist. I love stuff, which like stresses some people out, I think. But for me personally, I'm a collector. So I love to collect things and display them. And my biggest inspiration comes from English country style, which is something I probably discovered maybe when I was in college. It was something I started gravitating towards more, but I had always liked decorating my room and like organizing. So I think my style came to be more cohesive in the past few years though.
Few years, yeah. I mean, it's so, you walk in and you're like, okay, you get such a clear picture of like what you love, and even like what you wear is like totally matching the vibe of your home, which I love.
I'm always switching things out. So I'm always collecting, I'm always thrifting, I'm always looking for things on Facebook Marketplace. So I'm always bringing new things in and kind of moving things around or like shuffling things out. I would say it's just a constant collection of things over the past several years, and then slowly adding things like wallpaper or changing light fixtures, things like that, yeah.
Wow, I love it. You've done such a beautiful job.
Thank you. I love this room. This is like where we hang out the most. So most of our furniture is secondhand. I have a few items like the sofa that I have gotten from brands, but most of these items are things that Eric and I collected over years of thrifting, looking for things on Facebook, and kind of filling the house with really what we could afford and like put in our budget, because we don't have a huge furniture budget. And also I just prefer buying antiques and older pieces of furniture. I find generally that they're higher quality, and they're just more in the style that I like. This piece is one of my favorite items in the house. This is from Facebook Marketplace. It was, I want to say it was like $200, which it's English pine. So for that is like a great find.
$200 for that is like an absolute steal.
That's what I had to convince him. I was like, this is a good deal. If we were buying this in an antique store, it'd be so much more expensive.
Oh yeah, like thousands.
Yes.
And the size of it, it's like insane.
It's a great size. Yeah, we love it.
And I have to ask about this mirror, because this mirror is insane.
Yes, so this is actually from the local Restore, and it's super fun because my friend actually found it, and then I bought it from her because I was so obsessed with it. And I think she ended up getting it for like $100 or something like that.
Oh my God.
But it was used as a dressing room mirror for, it was either Ralph Lauren or something like that in New York. And they weren't using it anymore, and so there were like 3 of them at our local Restore for whatever reason. I think it was like someone that had worked there previously donated them, and she bought all of them. And then I was like, okay, I want them. And so I bought this one from her, and then there's actually a white one in my dressing room that was like from the same lot, and I bought that one too because I was like, I love a giant mirror, and it goes so well. It really adds a lot of light to the space.
Yes.
And kind of opens it up a little bit, which is nice.
It's amazing, and I love because you have a lot more like rustic feeling pieces, you know, like the wood and the baskets, and this like adds another touch that takes it
yeah, it's a little like French kind of when everything is a little more rustic country. So
I really want to take a look at your mantle over here because I love what you've done with it. Now, I feel like when I've seen this particular spot on your Instagram, you've had a few iterations of this.
Yes, yeah.
So how did it evolve? Talk to me about that.
So it was painted when we bought the house. It was already painted. It was just painted white. Because I am not like the hugest fan of painting brick. If it had been original, I probably would have just like left it that way. But because it was already painted, we wanted to like paint it a different color. So the first thing we did was we painted it blue, and we painted like this top part and the base blue, which is really pretty. And we liked it. It was actually the same color as our door. But I just was ready for a change, and I felt like it was a little bit dark and heavy in the space. And so that was when we painted it this. This is Setting Plaster by Farrow and Ball, and then this is a wallpaper by Sandberg Wallpapers. And I just had this extra in my basement, like leftover wallpaper. And then we had some of this paint, and I was like, I'm just gonna try and see what it looks like. And then we ended up really liking it, and I brought in blue. I love to collect blue china and dishes in general, so brought that in. I have, just a lot of, this is like very chaotic. This is a good example of kind of how I like to collect things. I have a ton of dog figurines that I love to collect, and I kind of look for whenever I'm at an antique store or a vintage shop. And then I always have people ask me about these baskets.
Yes.
I am addicted to thrifting baskets. I love baskets. I love the color. I love the texture. I love the utility of them. And I always have people ask me, they're like, your house is gonna burn down because these baskets are right over your fireplace. But this fireplace doesn't work, so we're good. It's safe. It's not gonna burn down.
You just saved yourself like 100 comments.
Exactly.
Like,
it's not gonna burn down. It doesn't work. Just for a look. It just stays like this. So yeah, I love it though, and I love the texture that it kind of brings to the room.
So fun, such a fun idea. Well, I would love for us to maybe go into your
the dining room. Yeah. So this is our dining room. And probably my favorite thing about this space is the wallpaper. I love this wallpaper. Obviously, this was not original when we moved in. I think the room was like green when we moved in. And we did this wallpaper, I think like 2 years ago. And we love it. Yeah, it's my favorite.
And I love the blue trim.
Yeah, the blue trim. This is Wales Gray by Benjamin Moore. I get asked about this paint color all the time. I have this in my bedroom, this trim, and then also the hutch in the kitchen is painted the same color.
When you see a home with so much character, so much life, you're like, what was it like before? And sometimes I think it can be a struggle for people to like envision.
Yeah, totally.
What would be your advice for someone who feels like, okay, like, I see this space, but I don't know how to even like start to put together a space and envision wallpaper and trim color and all these things?
My biggest advice, honestly, would just be to start doing something, like paint it, like put wallpaper up, whatever you want to do. If you think you want to do it, and you can, obviously, things cost money, but I would say just go for it. I think the more you think about it, the more you'll kind of second guess yourself. And then at the end of the day, like paint, you can change paint. You can change your furniture out, especially if you're thrifting items like we have. Almost every single piece of furniture is secondhand. Almost every single piece of furniture we've shifted in and out or changed things around. So I think kind of allowing yourself to be flexible with the space and knowing that the first iteration or whatever you do, it doesn't have to stay like that forever. You can change things. It's not that serious. So.
That is so good. Because I feel like it's so easy to feel like, oh, once I painted, that's it, or it's permanent,
right?
And it's not. It's
really
not that serious. That is a good slogan for this episode. It's not that serious.
Yes. I love that. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh man, well this cake looks amazing, and I know you always are like baking, and I know your husband bakes too, and you guys have a coffee shop and a restaurant, and your coffee shop's called Dojo's?
Yes, so the coffee shop is called Dojo's. It's in Ronaldo Village, which is this historic little shopping center. And then we have a bar and restaurant called Theodore's, which is actually in the same space. So, yeah.
So fun.
I love like the idea of making people feel really special. I mean, there's a time and a place, I think, for any type of get together. We have people over all the time where we're just like, we're gonna order pizza and sit on the floor in the living room and hang out, watch sports, whatever. But then I also really love having people over and like putting music on and lighting candles and making, you know, a food that I know they really love. I think that's a great way to love people and like show, I don't know, I just like, Eric and I love doing that for our friends. I think it just speaks to a way that you can really like love your friends well, which is fun.
It's so true. I love that we talk a lot about that inside of our membership, just like how to like just love people through home and through what you're like putting a cake out and lighting candles for somebody to be like, oh, like you made this for me and I was just coming over for afternoon for like, that's like it. I've felt so loved going into other people's homes and seeing what they've created. Are there any pieces in here that are like have a fun story behind them that you would want to share about? Because I know they're all secondhand.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the furniture in this room. I love all the art. Every single item in this room is secondhand, actually, except for the rug. So everything else is thrifted, either from Facebook Marketplace or an antique store or just like Goodwill. This piece is another English pine hutch. We got that from a local antique store. We've had it for a while. That was probably like the first central furniture piece that I had for this room that I kind of wanted to build everything else around. A lot of landscape art, a lot of still life kind of paintings, which I really, again, draw inspiration from. This is a secondhand piano. I was a music major in school and I still love playing piano and writing music and things like that. So we have this, and then this table's actually a recent addition. I had a darker wood table in here, but I didn't love how dark it was because like this room doesn't always get a ton of light. And so we swapped it out for another table, which is again English pine because I'm obsessed.
Yes, me too.
And these chairs are from Facebook Marketplace. I think there was like a set of 8 for $200.
Amazing.
And they came with the cushions, which is so great. And then this little piece right here is actually a little, well, it's actually a desk. It like folds up, but it was made by my grandfather.
Wow.
So I definitely love to mix in kind of heirloom pieces. I don't have a ton of them, and I know that's something that we don't necessarily these days kind of like get furniture passed down to us, like our generation, but it's something that I've thought a lot about now having a kid. I'm thinking like, not that she has to like what I like, but I do think it would be really cool to have pieces that are heirloom quality that then you can hand down to your kids. And that's as simple as, it can be as simple as just thrifting an item that is, you know, like this table or like those chairs that are so sturdy, such good quality, and can last for even generations to come, and you can pass them down to your kids.
Yes.
Which isn't something that you can necessarily do if you're buying furniture from IKEA or Target, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it just won't last you as long, and it kind of takes away the family heirloom aspect if that's something that you'd want to do. So
this dining room really gets, I haven't seen the original Little Women, so.
yeah.
But the Little
You have
Women,
to.
at least the second one.
Yes.
Their dining area, like it's just like totally, I'm like,
Yes,
oh, this feels
I
so
love
Little
that.
Women.
I love that. That's a compliment because I'm like, that's my dream. Is to
Aw.
live either in Pride and Prejudice or Little Women.
Why don't we venture?
Okay, yes.
This way.
So through here, it's just our little coffee bar area.
One thing we've learned from touring so many beautiful homes is how much travel shapes the way people live and the pieces they bring into their homes. Whether it's a vintage piece picked up at a flea market in Paris or a handmade textile from Morocco, travel has a way of making us more observant and more thoughtful about the way we design our space. When we travel for work or just to reset, we try to bring that same intentionality with us. That's why we've been using level 8 luggage. It's clean, minimal, and beautifully made. It honestly looks beautiful just sitting out, which is saying something for luggage. The wheels glide like butter. It holds everything we need, whether it's a full shoot day, a quiet weekend away, or an extended vacation. It's just designed to make the travel experience feel easy, calm, and even luxurious. We are big believers in designing a life you love, not just a home, and surrounding yourself with pieces that are both beautiful and useful is all part of it. We'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check Level 8 out, and feel free to use our code TZORI10 for 10% off your order. Thank you to Level 8 for leveling up our travel experience. Now back to Margo's home tour.
This originally was just a breakfast nook, and then Eric and I, last year, a year and a half ago, turned it into a pantry because we had very little storage, and then kind of our coffee bar area. And he and I did most of the work ourselves with all of the building and construction. We got these cabinets secondhand, painted them ourselves. A lot of the hardware is secondhand. And he and I just spent a lot of time putting it together and kind of creating a little butler's pantry area that we could use for extra storage. These pieces of wood were actually like beams from this house that we found in our basement. We have like a really creepy basement. And we were down there foraging one day and we found these, and Eric like sanded them down, cleaned them up, and we used them as shelves. And I just think it's super cool to have kind of like a little piece of the house as like a shelf now when they were just sitting down there.
And I love that, like, even like you see like moments like this that are
yes,
little wood.
yeah, and he was, when he was putting them up, he was like, okay, you want me to, like, do you want me to stick this part on the back? I was like, are you kidding me? Put the part that's like all kind of, you know, messed up in the front because it looks more authentic. And yeah, I just love that. I love all the wear and tear and stuff, so.
These curtains.
Yeah, these are just like literally scraps of fabric that I folded over, so don't look too closely. But this is a little rail, like a brass rail, same as that we sourced online. And then I already had this fabric, and I am not a seamstress, so I just cut a rectangle and folded it over and clipped it up there.
Shall we go into your kitchen?
Yes, we can come this way. This is our kitchen. It was originally nothing exciting, just kind of basic cabinetry. The worst part about it was probably the floor. It was just like a gray vinyl, and so very boring. And we lived with it like that for 2 years, kind of just waiting until we could afford to do a remodel. And then we decided we would just do most of it ourselves, and we kept the footprint the same. We had an idea of busting down this wall and then like making a giant kind of kitchen dining room. But I am someone that generally loves closed concept houses. Like, I'm not a big open concept person. I like having separate rooms with separate functions. I like having kind of that separation. And so obviously in an ideal world, like, I would love to have a big, beautiful kitchen, but we were kind of content with the idea that we would just have a small kitchen and have it be its own room. And we've ended up really enjoying it. I knew I wanted to do some furniture that was like an unfitted kitchen, so like freestanding furniture like this cabinet and like the island, and then bring in some cabinetry, which obviously we don't have like a ton of cabinets, but it ends up working out fine for us. The cabinets are painted Hay by Farrow and Ball, and then the walls are White Tie by Farrow and Ball, and then that blue hutch is the same blue from the other room. So.
And I love that you put a chair in here.
Yes.
Like not just like a
That's been like a controversial, not really, but I think I have always loved having soft furniture in the kitchen. I grew up going to my aunt's house. She had a couch in her kitchen. I mean, it was kind of like a set off alcove, but then she had a couch, and we'd always like sit on the couch and hang out while she was cooking, and it was just such a fun experience. And so when we made the kitchen, I told Eric, I was like, I want to have room for an armchair. I want to have an armchair in the kitchen. I want to be able to sit down and watch him cook or like vice versa. And so that was like a big thing when we were doing it. I knew I wanted to keep like a corner clear so that we could have a chair in there, and we use it literally all the time. Like either one of us will be in here cooking or cleaning or with the baby, and one of us can be sitting down. So it's been really, really great. We love having it.
Well, I think that's just such a smart idea, and like thinking about that throughout your home, like what experiences do you want to have? Like something as simple as, like if one of you is in the kitchen like cooking, you'd probably be like, all right, I want to go sit down, and then those are moments that you could miss out. Just like one chair can make a difference and create moments and memories that you wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, that's very true.
I love that. And I love too, like this moment behind the tile.
I knew I wanted like kind of like a blue Delft style tile, but they can tend to be really expensive. So we found this is like a hand done tile, and it was such a small section that it was like, even if it was a little pricier, we could go with it because it wasn't a huge footprint.
Right.
And then we got these copper pots and pans for our weddings. We've had them for almost 10 years and we love them. We use them all the time. And I really, really like using things that are beautiful as well as functional. So I like to try to find items that have like a functional purpose but are aesthetically pleasing. And I feel like copper pots are such a great example of that. And that I think was what allowed us to be able to have such a big, like this is all of our dish storage basically, like all of our plates and cups and everything is kind of out in the open. And I found that if I collect things that I find beautiful but are also functional, then I can display them and I don't have to worry about like hiding stuff away. Obviously I have like gross plastic Tupperwares that I've hidden away, but generally if I find things that I think are pretty and I also use them day to day, then you can leave it out and have it on display and you don't have to worry about, keeping your nice china tucked away and you never see it and never use it. You can just use it every day and then you can leave it out and it looks pretty too.
Where to next?
I think we should go see the nursery, which is probably the newest room that we've redone.
Okay.
It's right through here. So this is the nursery. This is where Matilda sleeps and plays and hangs out. Oh my god! I'm just like this is our puppy. It makes noise.
It's alive.
It's fine.
Oh, so.
She's obsessed with stuffed animals. We have like a lot of stuffed animals, which is great. But yeah, so this room was just a guest room, an extra room. It was gray like the rest of the house. It was pretty boring. And it was actually the last room that we redid because we didn't really like have a use for it until we were gonna have the baby. And then we knew we would turn it into the nursery. So it's a really sweet little room. I love being able to spend time in here with her.
I mean, this is like the dream nursery. Truly. I remember seeing it when you first did it on Instagram. I was like, oh my gosh, just so much detail. How special for her to get to grow up in here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously I have a lot of similar themes in the house. So the wallpaper, lots of animals, lots of wood. We have another little English pine.
Yes, which I want to go.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Where did you get this? Is this another Facebook?
That is another Facebook Marketplace. Yep. It was that one was especially cheap. I want to say that was $75.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which was a really great, and I couldn't fit a huge piece in here, so it was nice that I could find such a small one. And she has her little dresses in there and stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
It is so Beautiful.
And then these shelves are actually really fun because we found these on the literal side of the road. Eric was driving and they were just sitting there. They were this like ugly brown color. And I think they're actually supposed to be like, what's the word? Like a pelmet for a window.
Yes.
But we were like, what if we use them as shelving in the nursery? So we painted them, and I love the little scallop detail. And then we have 2 more of them right here, which also we use as shelving. So like with the rest of the house, most everything in here is thrifted also. With the exception of the crib, which is from Crate and Barrel, and then this rocking chair, which is Namesake, but everything else is thrifted. And it was over a period of like 2.5 years that I was collecting stuff for the nursery because we had decided we wanted to get pregnant, and then it took us 2.5 years to be able to get pregnant. And then by that time I had just like been collecting stuff for so long. So it was really sweet to be able to finally put everything up and like use it and actually like bring it out of storage. It was really exciting. So we had a lot of fun putting this room together.
Well, you've done such a beautiful job. It's so fun that you always think of your childhood bedroom, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so to have this be her bedroom that she's gonna like think of.
I hope she remembers it. And I think it's special as a parent if you're able to be able to like create a really special place for your kid. I think thinking about what they would like to, I mean, obviously she's a baby, so I don't necessarily know what she would like, but I wanted it to be colorful and bright and happy and be a space where she felt safe. So I think that it was really fun to try to spend a lot of time creating that and making it come to life.
Shall we go outside now?
Yes. Yes. So if we walk this way. Part of the reason why we loved the house so much was because of this backyard. It was like literally completely empty, just a big grassy backyard. And we have dogs, and so we were like, oh, this would be great for the dogs. And then we had kind of just started, I feel like a lot of people during COVID started getting into gardening, and we were like some of those people. And so at our rental, we had a garden, a smaller garden, and we just really fell in love with gardening. It kind of became like one of our main hobbies that Eric and I did together. And so we always had a vision for the space to become a garden. And obviously I love English style, I love English country style, I love English gardens. And so that was kind of the whole plan for this. And it slowly evolved over time, piece by piece. So we first put in the shed and the chicken coop. Eric built those. And then we did the garden beds and the gravel. And then last year we did the greenhouse. And then this year we actually did the fence. And so it's kind of just like piece by piece come together to be more and more like a full picture of what we wanted it to be. But we really, really love it. We spend a ton of time out here. And I'm someone that typically does not love like the summertime, but gardening has made me love summertime because of like getting to come out here and work and seeing everything grow is really, really special. So.
And I love that over here you have like this little table set up.
Yeah, so this table was another thrift find. I knew I wanted to have a dining setup in here so that Eric and I could come and just like have a little picnic outside, eat dinner. Yeah, we love being able to come out here, especially in the evening when the sun's kind of coming down a little bit. It's super pretty. We've had parties out here. We love to have a garden party, have people over. Yeah, it's really fun.
So here we've got...
This is kale. We have kale and leeks, and then I've got sweet peas going up this trellis. We have learned a lot over the past several years gardening. It's a lot of trial and error. It's kind of the same philosophy as with the inside. I feel like you kind of just have to start, and you're not going to be good at it right away. You're definitely going to kill some of the plants. You're definitely going to have things that are successes and things that aren't, and you just learn as you go. We have cabbage over here, lavender. I can never seem to keep lavender alive. I love lavender, but I have a hard time with it, but I keep trying every year.
Yes. I mean, it looks good right now.
Right, it's doing okay right now. It's like later in the summer, it may all be dead. But he and I love tomatoes, lettuce. We have cabbage right here, onions, kind of things that we use in our day-to-day cooking.
Yes.
A tip that we like to do is plant flowers in each bed alongside the vegetables, because it just really helps with the pollinators and brings them to the vegetable bed, and also is just pretty. I mean, I think in everything that I do, I like to add beauty and kind of like romanticize the practical things, and adding a little flowers and things like that is a way that we do it. So
I love that it's both beautiful and functional. Why don't we go and see your chickens?
yes, so we have 5 chickens. They are a little noisy right now.
Look at them, they're big.
Yeah, I know. Especially this one right here. She's like a big girl.
Oh my, you're getting well fed.
Yeah.
So
But
fun.
they're great. We, especially with the price of eggs right now,
Yes.
it's great to get your own eggs. Let me go in there and I'll see if they've got any today.
Oh, they do. That is so fun.
Okay. So these are some of the ones that we have right now. This one's big, some of these brown ones. This is from our Midnight Maran, which are the dark ones. And they lay this like really pretty brown color egg, which is like my favorite. I just think it's so pretty. And then this was just one of the other chickens, which I find this not as pretty of a color of an egg, but you know what, it's
When they're
fine.
mixed though, like all mixed together, it's fun to have different colors.
The problem with chickens is once you get chickens, you become obsessed with getting all of the different types of chickens and like all the different colors that lay the different colors of eggs, and then it's like, then you end up with like 50 chickens, and which is illegal on this property. So yeah, we have to cut back.
Okay.
But we still love it.
Oh my. And you've got your little ducklings over
Yes,
there.
we have 3 ducks, and 2 of them are males, so they don't lay eggs, but we do have a female who does lay eggs, but she's actually currently incubating her eggs. So we may have some ducklings in the next few days.
Oh my gosh.
They're literally so cute. I was like, I wonder when she's gonna have them, because she's been sitting on her nest a ton lately. I'm like, I feel like they're coming soon.
Oh my. Well, thank you for taking us through your beautiful home. It's been so fun. I would love to know, what is something you hope people feel when they come into your home?
Oh gosh, I mean, I really just hope people feel comfortable and cozy. I think I'd love to be the house where people know that they can come and relax and feel cozy and thought of. And I think really for Eric and I, we just want it to be a space that we want to be in all the time. I think your home should be, in my opinion, I feel like your home should be your favorite place like in the world. And so that's kind of what we aim to create. And I think we kind of have created that for ourselves, so.
That's such a treasure to have like your home be your safe place, because a lot of times if people don't love their home, they're like constantly trying to get out of it.
Totally. I think Eric and I love to travel. We love to go new places, but ultimately our favorite place to be is just at home.
The thing about your home that I've been so inspired by is literally everything pretty much is secondhand and has been budget, like on a budget. What would be your advice for someone who feels really limited by their budget, feels like, well, I can't even make the home that I love because I don't have the money to do so?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially with social media these days, like we spend so much of our time looking at other people's spaces online, which first of all, like my house obviously doesn't always look like this. Like it's a wreck sometimes, and the reality is like your home doesn't always look amazing. But I think we spend a lot of time comparing our houses to what people's look like online and kind of making assumptions about, you know, how they've afforded certain things or how they've found certain things or whatever. And the reality is like Eric and I, when we first moved into this house and even now, like it's not like we have a big furniture budget or anything like that. So almost everything that we get is secondhand. And I do think you absolutely can decorate your house, I would say even better than if you were buying everything new when you're shopping secondhand. It definitely does take time. I think I am not typically a super patient person. And so decorating my house with thrifted items has been a little bit of a lesson in patience and consistency, going to the thrift stores, going to antique stores over and over again to find that thing that you really want. And just being okay with your space changing, bringing things in, changing them out. But I absolutely think that you can create a home that you love on a small budget, because that's what Eric and I have done. I mean, yeah, we didn't really have a choice. And so I think it takes time and patience and consistency, but you can absolutely find the things that you want to fill your home up and that you love for good price on a budget.
And if you don't know where to start when it comes to making a home you love and doing it on a budget, we dive into all of that inside of our membership. Our membership is really created to equip women to decorate, design, and host with ease in homes they love, something Margo's done so beautifully and shown that it is absolutely possible. So if you don't know where to start, check out the link in the description below, because we would love to have you inside and help you along that journey. Yeah, I just think it's so encouraging to see different people, all their different homes, and see, well, you know, I can do this too. This can be my reality.
Yes, 100%.
Well, I would just love to ask one more question, and that is, if there's one thing that viewers watching right now could take away from touring your home and getting to know you, what would you hope that would be?
My hope would be when people look at my Instagram or when people come to my house or watch my videos, that it inspires them to romanticize and enjoy their homes every day. So taking time to do little things like having fresh flowers, or, you know, doing the little things that make you happy in your house, because I really do believe that our homes are like the place that we should be most happy. And so I would love for people to embrace that and take time to put effort and energy into their house to make it that space that they really, really love being in.
Oh, well, I'm sure that everyone watching is inspired and is like, okay, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna go to the thrift store.
Let's go to Goodwill right now.
If you guys want to connect with Margo, you can find her on Instagram at It's Margo Roth, and also her YouTube channel, which is also It's Margo Roth. So make sure to check her out on there. You'll be so inspired. And also just, I've been so inspired. I'm gonna go home and like bake all the things. You're like, no? Yay! And also, if you want to catch the extended cut of Margo's home tour and see more of her home, hear more of her heart behind her home, we have all of the extended cuts of our Design Within Reach series inside of our membership community. So that's another reason to join. So you can check that out in the link in the description. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was so great to have you. I'm so glad you got to see everything.
Aw.